Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo-sensei. Minasan, konbanwa. And today we're going to be looking at some tarantula molts. So this tarantula here was actually sold to me as a Brachypelma smithi, or smithi. But to me, it looks like a Brachypelma hamorii. And actually, looking at the spermatheca, and looking at the chelicerae, and the patterns, and the physical features, it appears to be a Brachypelma hamorii, or is it hamorii? But either way though, it appears to be that, and not a Brachypelma smithi, or is it smithi? I'm sorry, these scientific names at times, but to get the point across though, this tarantula here, I'm not too certain which of which it is. So I just labeled this as Brachypelma species, and this one here is a pet only of mine, but this tarantula here is a joy to have in my collection. It's a great eater, doesn't really fast, and for some reason it's a bit skittish. I don't know why, it acts like a non-do at times, so despite being a Brachypelma species, it's certainly interesting in terms of its personality. So now I want to talk about myself a little bit, everyone. So I apologize for this video being late, but I want everybody to understand that I recently just gotten another part-time job. My work schedule has been keeping me busy from making videos at times, so if videos may seem a little late, just to let you guys know, it's because of work. But I'll still upload on Tuesdays and Fridays like normal, so don't worry about that. But I will tell you that videos may be late, so instead of being posted in the mornings, it may be posted later in the evenings here in the United States where I live. If videos are late, I apologize. Just know that it's because of my work schedule. But now, let us continue, and allow me to show you some of my other tarantulas in my collection that freshly molted. Now allow me to show you this little beauty here. So this right here is my Brachypelma emilia, also known as the Mexican Red Leg Tarantula. And this one here is actually my favorite Brachypelma species. Like, there's a lot of Brachypelma species out there, but this one's my favorite. It has just the right amount of orange, red, and black. So a perfect trio of colors. A perfect trio of colors. Yeah, that's pretty much most Brachypelma species if you think about it. But it's just the way the pattern goes for the species that makes it so different. And I really love my girl here. She's pretty awesome. Even though she is a bit skittish at times, she's really a chill spider though. And a great beginner tarantula. Now, I wasn't too certain how long ago she molted, so I tried to test her out to see if she was hungry, but she wasn't. So I took out the prey item. And yeah, she looks great, honestly. And yes, you may have noticed that there's a bit of like 2 gray spots on her carapace, but she's freshly molted, and honestly, it doesn't look like that big of a deal, so I think she'll be fine for the most part. Now let us continue and allow me to show you some other tarantulas that have molted in my collection that I think is pretty interesting. So this one here that you're seeing is my Poecilotheria ornata, also known as the Fringed ornamental tarantula. And this tarantula here is a ESA species, meaning that it's under the Endangered Species Act. So this species here cannot be crossed through state lines, so whatever state you have it in is stuck in. So the United States is pretty rough on some of these ESA tarantula species, specifically the 5 Poecilotherias from Sri Lanka, which includes the ornata, vittata, subfusca, smithi, and fasciata. So those 5 Poecilotheria species are actually very difficult to find nowadays here in the United States because of the ESA laws and whatnot. Now thankfully, I was able to get a male and I was able to produce this species, and I'm truly thankful that I have a lot of males and females so I can still continue on with this breeding project for the ornatas. So to be fair, I don't know the exact numbers of males and females that I have. I know I have more males than females. I think I have around 8 to 17 females. Somewhere in that ballpark, but these females I have are currently around 3 inches in leg span, all the way up to 4.5 inches in leg span. Now I did just recently got 2 ornata slings, so those are new bloodline, so I should be able to get more of these going in the future, so stay tuned for that, and allow us to continue on with my other tarantulas that freshly molted. So this is the last one here in this video, and this one here is a special case to me. This is the Theraphosa apophysis male that I actually like a lot. Now first of all, I love Theraphosas. That's my favorite genus. Not my favorite species, but my favorite genus. Now the good thing is that this is the male I needed. For those who know me and for those who have been watching this channel, I have been cursed with so many females of Theraphosas, and luckily this little one here that I raised as a sling proved out to be a male. So we're using him in the future for a future breeding project with my other Theraphosa apophysis females, and honestly, every time he grows, I appreciate him even more. Now from what I hear, I heard that Theraphosa apophysis tends to be the most leggiest in terms of all the Theraphosas, so I would really like to see him as a mature male and kind of compare him to my Theraphosa sturming mature male to see if they're actually as leggy as what people say they are. Now in terms of size, they get pretty much around the same leg span, so that part doesn't really concern me. I know that people want to see Theraphosas at their largest, but I'd say most of them get around the same size in most cases, so I don't really like to play the comparison game in terms of size. As long as I have a mature male and mature females, and I could get this breeding project going, then it's already a huge win for me, because this guy has some ladies once he's matured out, so he's a lucky one. And maybe I'll get another female, who knows, it really just depends. Because as of now, Theraphosa apophysis are relatively affordable for a Theraphosa species. Even the females are becoming more affordable. I've been seeing pairs and sexed females sell for around $200 US, sometimes even less if you look around good enough. It's pretty interesting. Now allow me to show you this tarantula's molt. So you may have noticed some of this fuzz on this tarantula's molt. Some of you may even think it's mold, but it's not. This is all urticating hairs. You heard that right. Theraphosas tend to use their own urticating hairs from their abdomens, and they rub it off onto their molt mat, and then they molt. So essentially all of the urticating hairs and all this fuzz that you're seeing gets stuck onto the molt, and it's pretty interesting honestly. Some people say Theraphosas do this as a self-defense because they're vulnerable when molting. Others just say they just do it because they just do it. I don't know how I feel about it, but I find it pretty interesting nonetheless. And here's my advice. If you actually have a Theraphosa and there's a lot of, urticating hairs on its molt, especially the ones that look like this, my advice is to not blow on it and try to use as minimal wind as possible, because my goodness, that dust of urticating hairs blows off so easily. Not to mention one time it got all over my hand and it was feeling some type of way, I tell you. It didn't feel good. It was like poison ivy on fire, so it was not the best feeling in the world. Like, it really blows off easily, so proceed with caution is my advice. But let us round it out here. So without further ado, I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay updated to whenever I upload here on the channel. I upload every single Tuesday and Friday, so please feel free to do so, and stick around. Follow me on my social medias and support me on Patreon. And with that, stay lax, and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.